birthday, my week was good, and what's what happened? You know, we can talk about that later on, but he had some developments, and I felt this whole week, it culminated into this morning of just being refreshed and reset.
That's what's up. You was glowing when you walked in. I knew something was different.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not per usual, but I feel you.
I can relate. I feel like it was definitely a relaxing, refresh type of week. I don't know.
That's good there.
For me, it was a lot of transition this week. Well, I could just start with yesterday. I ain't seen my kids in like 9 weeks, which is like it might have been a record for us. Like we didn't go that long, so that was good to see them and spend time with them. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like it been that long once we started kicking it, and we all agreed that it didn't feel like it was that long. But like leading up to it, it was like, dang, like I ain't seen them in a minute. So that was good. My travels here was sweet. It was straight to the point, and yeah. Besides a lot of transitions, adjusting. And like a lot of faith this week, you know what I'm saying? Everything turned out to be amazing. God is good and always on time.
You had some trials and tribulations?
Always. Well, listen, look, man, life be lifing, but God be God. And so we just gotta go with the flow.
And I know recently we was having a discussion like, you know, how it can be tedious to keep certain things in mind when you have things in limbo. Because like when you're going through life and transitions happening, but you trying to maybe take the next step or you see the next step, but when you're waiting for certain things to fall in place, it can keep your mind kind of like just clouded a little bit, whatever. I know me and him both went through like recent transitions. I don't know if you want to talk about that, Wolf, where it's like once certain things fall in place, it's like, whew, all right, cool. Now we can continue along a path or whatever. So I don't know, you want to lead or maybe you can relate to that or
let me like get like a understanding of what you're saying. Basically, like, because the way I'm taking what you're saying is it's like you have your micro stuff that's going on in your own personal life, but then outside of your personal life is like still stuff got to get done. Like no matter what, like there's always a bigger picture. Like you got your stuff that's going on and then you just got like the stuff that's going on around you.
Yeah, that's definitely a part of life for sure. But I was more so saying, like, so for instance, recently I recently accepted a new job offer, but that was like over like a long period of time. So it was like certain things I was waiting for that to happen to see how I would deal with other things.
Yeah, so like the inability to use your foresight because you don't know what's next. So it's like, how can I plan out 6 months if I don't know what's happening in a week, right?
That's
so
good.
Being in a limbo is like you in that pending phase, and it's funny because I can relate this a lot to like coming from the hood, right? And a lot of the hood mindset, right? Like when you young, you don't really think about longevity, right? Because well, you coming from the hood, you don't think about long. So you ask a young boy, like, what's your 3-year plan? What's your 5-year plan? They really can't even articulate what their next week plan is because everything is so day to day. So I think when we're in these limbo phases, it put us in like a day to day type of operation where it's like, I want to say the next Wednesday I'm available at 6, but I really don't even know where I'm going to be at next Wednesday at 6 because I might be starting this new job or I might be out of town. So us both being in limbo phase where I was going through housing transitioning. So it was like, I'm back and forth between here and down Georgia, or whatever the case may be. So with me being back and forth and then having to move and trying to find different spots to live, I was in limbo. And for him, he was waiting on, he had took a job, but he was waiting on the actual offer or whatever the case to come through. So it affects the ability to be able to say, where we filming? Is we filming here? Are we filming there? Is we doing this or are we doing that? So we both were just kind of like getting to the end of that at the same time. So I guess to kind of throw it back your way is like, have you ever been in a space where you knew like, all right, I want to plan, I want to set some goals, but I can't do nothing until I get this offer letter or until I get approved or until I get out of, sometimes to be getting out of a situation.
Or get closure on something.
Get closure, yeah.
Right.
Mentally cleared.
I feel like I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I think that there's definitely been seasons where it's like, okay, this is what I have going on. Like, this is what I'm planning towards. This is what my goal is. Yeah. But also at the same time, it's like, I also have so much other stuff going on that I still have to take care of business and I still have to handle these things outside of whatever that specific goal is.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of, that's where like, that's why I feel like I appreciate being in my 30s because what used to seem like it had to happen now, I feel like life slowed down so much. It's like, I don't have no desire to rush. Like literally, like I have no urge to be like, I'm juggling this, but it's like literally seasons for everything. And like when you hear it's 4 seasons for a reason, like we don't really often dissect what that means, but it's like looking at it like, yo, certain fruits can't harvest in the winter.
That's true.
And certain things can't survive in the summer. So I always even be telling my young boys, like, look, like when you think about planning out your life, understanding the season you in and what you harvested in that season and being okay with knowing, like, I don't need this winter coat right now. It's 90 degrees outside. But some people like, I got all these clothes. I ain't been wearing them. Bro, there's no need for it, right? So when we think about juggling, it's like being able to say, okay, how can I, what word? is a C word. It'll come to me. But basically, like in a nutshell, like how can I be able to compartmentalize and say, okay, this is priority, this is not, and be okay with that. Like, last thing I'm gonna say on the subject is just being at the point where it's like understanding that like rest is a part of like productivity as well. Like,
for sure,
we don't give rest enough respect. Like, goddamn them kids that don't appreciate naps, because it's like
I would love a nap time in the middle of my day.
You know, like, oh, I get one. I'm getting one in. Like, but you know, I feel like creating the freedom in my schedule to be able to do so. But resting allows, especially as creatives, it gives us that bandwidth to be able to think, to be able to. Because if you constantly move, and when do you have that window opportunity to be able to create? So, you know, when we think about juggling, just to kind of land a plane on it, it all comes full circle. Just understanding, like, this is what season I'm in right now, and this is what I'm gonna put my energy into. That don't mean I forgot about this. That don't mean that this isn't a priority. It's just not prioritized right now because it ain't the season for it.
I also...
No, you good.
Absolutely, let's go.
You say his 3 things for the day. You're good. Me and you at this point.
I also feel like sometimes when I put something into place, like, so once I've already done all the steps, like, you know, whatever, 1, 2, 3, my to-do list, and once that's already in play, for me, more so here recently, I've been able to just lean on faith when it comes to allowing that to play out however it's going to play out.
For sure.
So it's like, even like the word planning is like, a lot of times I'm getting to a place where, okay, it's not my plan. So it's like, as long as I do what I need to do and I done planned it out, like even here so recently, I had a situation where I had to I was sad, you know, cry to tears, do all the things. Because one thing about me, I'm going to allow myself to, like, I'm going to feel all the feels.
Get them out.
But after that's done, I'm going to get to business. All right, these are the things that I have to do. And then it's in God's hand after
100%.
So.
Want to make God laugh, tell me your plans, that old type of...
You were holding that one?
That's a known saying.
It was a good placement. I mean, it was a good time.
No facts.
I think even to your point, like, that's literally like when it's like, Jesus take the wheel, or like God take the wheel. That's that. Like, that's faith in action. Like, we have a certain amount of willpower that can get us to certain places. But that's only 10% of the... It feel like because it's 100% of our effort that we in control, but that's just 10% of what's really going on.
Right.
90% is everything conspiring together in God's ordained order to be like, okay, this is what it's going to end up being. But I do think that within our decision making, us having a free will to be able to make the decisions, it does alter the course of action, because it's like, all right, you want to go that way, I'm gonna let you. But if you in alignment, you know what I mean. That's why it's very key to pray for alignment. A lot of people pray for discernment, and that's good, but praying to be in alignment within that discernment is important as well, because it's like, all right, I don't just want to have a discernment to recognize something. I want to also make sure that what I'm discerning aligns with the bigger picture.
Here you go.
And the bigger picture is not what I can see, but it's like what God can see. So I understand that in totality. And I agree, you know what I mean? Just letting God handle it. Like, all right, you got it. I literally would say, yo, I cast this burden on you.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Like, it's like when you call your mom or your dad or your big brother, you like, you take this on. You more equipped for this than I am.
I'm
like,
hopping in the passenger seat. You got it. Like, you just...
Go ahead, do
no
you.
Complaints.
Yeah, no complaints at all.
Yeah.
Just, you know, and then sometimes, you know, when you hit the you question, like, oh, wait, what's going on? But you just gotta know, like, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
All right, you got it.
It's nothing like them little, what they call?
That's the name of it. If you could.